Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with Malekith, gonna be taking on the Skaven, hence the Dark Elf Uber here, the Lizard Limo. Gone with a chariot-focused build. Gonna be fighting up against Professor Pone, by the way. Those of you guys who have seen him on the channel before know he's a great guy. Got a channel of his own, plays some Blood Bowl, you know, Magic the Gathering, Total War Warhammer, various different games, so definitely go check him out. We've got for our army here, front line of Dread Spears. We've got a couple of Black Ark Corsair handbows, a single Corsair with two dual swords. Let's see here, Sister of Slaughter, 4 units of Cold One chariots, 2 to the flanks and 2 here in the center, with Malekith as well on the Cold One chariot. For the Skaven here, we've got a whole mess of clan rats mixed with Skaven slaves, a couple of storm vermin, sword and board, 3 in fact, pretty solid choice here. Single warp lightning cannon, a single rat ogre, Lord Skrulk with an assassin, got some slave slingers scattered around as well, with a single gutter runner slinger mixed in, which is a really sneaky pick, because a lot of the time people won't check the banners. They won't check the unit. They'll just look at the banners. So that's something that I sometimes do. Like, I'll just see, oh, there's a whole bunch of slingers there, and assume that they're not going to be good. But then these gutter runners slingers actually are pretty decent. 20 overall missile damage over 10 seconds. Only 2 AP, but they do apply poison on their missile damage. Have 140 range. They do have the snare nets, of course, as well, that the gutter runners come with. So overall, pretty effective unit. Let's see how they do here. Without further ado, we're going to get the battle rolling. You can see I'm going to go ahead and pull back here as we get the artillery duel underway. Professor Pone, being the crafty guy that he is going to go ahead and drop his artillery piece and pull back his artillery crew, which may seem a bit counterintuitive, but this is actually exactly the right decision. And then he's pushing his army forward in response. He's going to come man the cannon once he's occupied a lot of my forces here. This is exactly the right move, because the bolt throwers, of course, when they're shooting at the crew, when it's disengaged from the cannons themselves, they're not going to hit the unit models to blow up the cannons, which is the whole point of shooting at them in the first place. But Malekith going to start cutting through the front line here on his Uber, taking a bit of fire there, but unleashing the breath into these gutter runners here, who, I'm not going to lie, I totally at this point hadn't noticed they were gutter runners, still thought they were Skaven slave slingers. But yeah, Sisters of Slaughter are going to go ahead and countercharge here. They will just absolutely cut the low-tier Skaven troops to pieces while taking relatively little damage themselves with their 60 melee defense, at least in melee. They definitely will take some damage from that slinger fire. You can see Malekith got that Liber Bubonicus and is taking a ton of damage with the chariots, just punching through. Skrulk, meanwhile, in this pocket with his storm vermin, trying to hold up. He's getting bullied a little bit, but that what is it? The Rod of Corruption there doing some decent damage. The chariots are pushing through pretty hard, though. We've been able to keep the Reaper bolt throwers secure, and they're doing a nice job kind of just throwing some fire on these Storm Vermin halberds in the back. Malekith did come equipped with Blade Wind, so we're going to go ahead and bust one of those out here. You don't get to see Blade Wind too often, but I'm a big fan of Vortex spells against the Skaven, so we're going to go ahead and blast them out there. Try and free up these Cold One chariots. Unfortunately, the Rat Ogres do have them pinned in pretty well, so some very good play by Professor Pone there. You can see he's remanned Warp Lightning Cannons. I did spot this, so I go ahead and start focusing again with the bolt throwers. I'm going to try and take out those cannons themselves if we can, but he is responding here, getting some very effective damage done on those Cold One chariots. Not 100% sure what happened to all the units of them, but we've got a unit here, one unit rampaging in the center and another over on the left, so I'm not sure where the one on the right went to, but they're somewhere around here. Meanwhile, the Sisters of Slaughter duking it out in the center. The handbows will be very resilient to clan rat summons, of course, because of their high armor. They also have pretty good melee defense as well, so they'll be able to hold reasonably well against those clan rats. And yeah, very nice Plague Breath coming down, doing some good damage to that light target there. But Cold One Chariot coming in, cleaning up some of those clan rats, and I'm pulling back my artillery crew because Pone, once again, 2 of his cannons got taken out. He pulled back once more. which had then pulled my cannons forward, or sorry, not my cannons, my bolt throwers forward into combat there. So some very nice play by Professor Pone, trying to keep his artillery online. Unfortunately, he is still losing pieces at the end of the day, so not the best. Cold One Chariots, though, mostly down. You can see this unit's pretty much done for fighting Storm Vermin. We've got a unit being routed off here, unit being routed off there, so... the issue with the Skaven, of course, they don't really have the mobility to chase these guys off, so they very likely will be able to come back from routing. But all things considered, this is an incredibly close battle still. You could see Pone was coming forward to man it. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and blow up the last cannon here. Mission accomplished. I'm going to, unfortunately, continue to fire there for a little bit longer, but the center is still holding somewhat. Dreadspears just fighting off clan rats as best they can. We do still have some chariots online, just rampaging through the lines here. You can hear Malekith screaming in the background as I just spam orders to him to try and get him out of this situation here. He's getting poisoned and just generally snare netted and dragged down, so it's a bad situation for Malekith, trophy heads and everything. So, man, 45 melee defense on trophy heads. I didn't realize it was that much. That's brutal. I thought it was 26 and 27, but yeah, Malekith is going to get routed off there. So all things considered, not looking great for us at this point. The leadership of the Dark Elves definitely faltering. That being said, we've still got plenty of these handbows online, so we're going to try and use them to good effect. The Sisters of Slaughter also still just slugging it out here, having cut through hundreds of rats, 155 and climbing, so they're well paying for themselves at this point. Do have some chariots online still, going to be trying to come in and shut down some of these slingers. You can see I'm turning to go for these Skaven slaves here, figuring I can just clean them off the field, and the chariots will definitely do a good job of doing that. Thankfully for me, the Cold One chariots did come back from routing, and both the bolt throwers still online as well, so we're starting to claw back in terms of the balance of power here. And just a brutal gaze of malice going down, trying to cut up some of these regrouped Skaven troops that are coming in on the side here, finishing off those Skaven slaves and clan rats. Unfortunately, it does look like they're going to get on this bolt thrower. That being said, it's been able to get some pretty good value. We're going to go ahead and switch onto the rat ogres, I believe, in just a moment here, as they're the main threat to Malekith and the chariots at this point. If we can go ahead and secure them, we should be able to... Ooh, man, look at that Dreadspear going for a ride. We should be able to just cycle charge the rest of the Skaven infantry to death, but yeah, you can see the Sisters of Slaughter going for a run. They're already exhausted, but oh man, they're gonna have to just jog off into the sunset here to try and chase off the Storm Vermin. Thankfully, they are fast enough to do so, but you can see the handbows come up, do some really nice fire here. These Skaven slaves probably don't have the leadership to hold up for much longer, and yeah, you can see in the distance there, though, they are getting some pretty effective fire, just about routing off that Cold One chariot. It's questionable who's going to rout first, the Gutter Runners or the Cold One chariot, but looks like some Dread Spears coming in to support there. And in this late game, you can see I've turned the one bolt thrower to try and finish off those rat ogres. Does look like it just beamed one there, so great shot. And I definitely find the elf bolt throwers to be pretty solid in terms of their accuracy. And yeah, you can see trying to use the last of my ammunition with the handbows here. Unfortunately, they are going to get caught by the summoned clan rats. Not a whole lot I can do about that. But Skrulk and the Assassin are really the biggest threats left. The Assassin himself can definitely just one-shot unit models. He doesn't have the best splash damage, but oh man. Oh, doing some flashy moves there, taking down that Corsair. But yeah, Skrulk pushing forward as well. These Corsairs are trying to escape here, many of them going down, unfortunately, but Malekith's on station. We've been able to get enough Soul Sealers to keep him alive, although that Blade Wind, it's always a risky using the magic for the Blade Wind, because you never know if you might need it for self-healing, and Malekith doesn't get as much Winds of Magic as, say, like Marathi, so you can't get quite as much self-healing, but oh man. We've turned the bolt thrower's attention to Skrulk himself to see if we can finish off the Skaven leadership here. Balance of power, honestly, still pretty close, and some clan rat summons to shut down my ranged units could potentially turn the balance of power here, just because Malekith is really, yeah, Pone doing a great job applying that trophy heads, making sure that Malekith, anytime he tries to come in, he's going to be debuffed and just taking hits from the Assassin, which is not great. Yeah. Thankfully for me, both the Skaven characters left have relatively low armor, so the fire from the Skaven, or sorry, the Corsair handbows will do some good damage here. But another clan rat summon coming in, and yeah, you can see Lord Skrulk getting in here with his plague flail. The clan rat summons pushing forward, looking to shut down potentially these handbows. keep them from shooting the last of their ammunition. Looks like they've got a couple of volleys left, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop one more Blade Wind here with my last magic. Didn't quite have enough for one more Soul Stealer, but get a few more kills on Malekith, who's up to 154 here. Definitely got some good work done. But yeah, the Bolt Throwers, having finished off some Slingers out in the distance, going to turn its attention back to the Skaven leadership. And yeah, man, what a battle. Well played to Professor Pone. Is definitely just an absolute wild battle, and well played to him for sure. It's not an easy matchup in my opinion for the Skaven. Definitely pretty rough. You can see me using the scatter shot there. It would be better even shooting at an infantry character to use the single shot. But yeah, that's all good at the end of the day. Malekith on his chariot going to come through, just ride over Skrull, just absolutely run him over, and then the Corsair is going to go ahead and follow up. And yeah, you can see the Assassin also not too happy about his decisions here. Malekith looks like he's going to finish off the Gutrunners. The Sisters coming back from their jog. So we're going to fast forward a little bit through this late game here, as there is still some battle left. You can see we're just cleaning up the Slingers with the Chariots. Now turning our attention to the Skaven leadership. Skrull did get routed off there, but with the rallying Sisters and everything, it's going to be pretty hard for the Skaven to come back. One more timely clan rat summon, and the Assassin's going to make his last stand here with Lord Skrull tailing up. You can see Malekith going to be riding through, just one last glorious charge through the Skaven there. Spreading misery indeed, Malekith. Great stuff. And the Sister's going to come in also in the late game to clean things up here. So very well played to Professor Pone. Super fun battle. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. It was, man, it was closer than I expected, and those Gutter-Runner Slingers, honestly, definitely surprised me. They were able to do quite a bit more damage than I anticipated, just because I thought that he had 5 Slave Slingers rather than the Gutter-Runners, which just goes to show you always got to check the unit cards, and that's often an issue with, like, say, Dwarves or Chaos, various factions that share a lot of unit cards across various tiers of similar units. You always got to make sure you, at the beginning of the battle, just quickly check to make sure and keep track of those high priority targets. That being said, I mean, we were able to clean up plenty of kills here with the Chariots. 150, 114, 84, 74, 172 on Malekith with his spells and his chariot and everything. A big fan of the Cold One Chariot in this matchup. It just gives him that mass and mobility and the anti-infantry to be able to just clean up the Skaven hordes. 180 kills on the Sisters of Slaughter, also a favorite of mine in this matchup. I do think the Black Ark Corsairs are pretty good as well. They're fast enough to get away from most Skaven troops, and I mean, obviously Rat Ogres can catch them, but most other Skaven troops they can get away from, and the non-AP missile fire is pretty decent against the Skaven. The scatter shot too as well, I find, just in general, the Dark Elves with all their various units that have the scatter shot, like the Corsairs have scatter shot, the Cold One Chariots, I think they have like maybe 3 projectiles per shot or something like that. I mean, they all have multi-shot, right? So you get like these sprays of crossbow fire that just do a ton of damage to the hordes of Skaven infantry. So I definitely think it's a favorable matchup for the Dark Elves. But for Professor Pone putting up a beautiful fight there, that Warp Lightning play was excellent. He was able to keep his crew long enough to get a couple of XP chevrons. I didn't quite catch it in the battle, but he just straight up blew up a couple chariots with the Warp Lightning cannon there, and him getting the crew off, pulling them back, putting him back on several times throughout the battle was the key to him being able to do that, because it ended up, you know, forcing my bolt throwers to retarget, reprioritize, which they were able to do so and still take out the Warp Lightning Cannon in the end. But man, that was some very effective play there. And yeah, just kind of getting ground down by the Skaven infantry. We were kind of both laughing, because at the beginning of the battle, I think he outnumbered me almost 3-1, or more than 3-1. In fact, I think he started out with about 1,700. I think I had about 500. So yeah, vastly outnumbered. So you expect massive kill totals here, but a super fun battle nonetheless. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.